New at 10, Kim Fox weighs in on the carjacking crisis, why she says locking kids up is not the only answer.
Plus a financial headache. A woman sold her car, yet she's still billed for parking tickets. Next.
First, the snow. Now comes the cold. We're tracking an Arctic blast and real-time weather.
Hundreds of dollars in parking tickets from the city of Chicago sent to a person who doesn't even live in Illinois.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. She shouldn't even be getting tickets.
Tonight, what happened when CBS 2 got involved?
This musician's prized possession, a $20,000 flute, goes missing on an L train. Tonight, his desperate plea to get it back.
Breaking right now, this SUV flipped on its side and several other cars damaged following a chaotic crash on the south side. Police telling us officers were trying to pull over a vehicle when the driver took off and struck 3 other cars near 51st and Lake Park and Hyde Park. Police have 1 person in custody tonight. It's a thrill. That comment coming from the feds tonight in a virtual town hall on what's driving the carjacking epidemic in Chicago.
Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox also weighing in, saying locking up kids is not the only answer. Our Jermont Terry listened in. He's live from our street-side studio tonight. Jermont.
Brad and Irika, one consensus. The panel says that we cannot just police ourselves out of this problem, adding that many of the teen carjackers don't realize that they're committing a federal crime. You've seen the pain.
Oh, my husband's back.
Heard the fear.
Look here, take everything, just don't hurt me.
And concern from victims and families of those carjacked across Chicago and the suburbs. The troubling spike keeps climbing. January ended with more than 150 carjackings.
There is at least 5 carjackings every day.
Congressman Bobby Rush gathered the U.S. Attorney, Cook County State's Attorney, along with Chicago police and community activists for a virtual town hall to address the cry to get a handle of this epidemic.
Local law enforcement, even combined with other departments and federal law enforcement, is outnumbered. And that is not an excuse, that's a reality.
The FBI stressing nationwide other major cities are seeing the same problem. Yet here in Chicago, youngsters, mostly 15 to 20-year-olds, but some as young as 12, are holding the guns and stealing cars.
There aren't people that are directing these young kids to do this. These are young kids who have lost their way, and they are committing these crimes of opportunity for the thrill of it.
A crime many in the community believe crooks aren't worried about.
They do not fear getting caught, or if caught, they don't fear the consequences of potentially getting caught.
If a teen is charged with carjacking, they could stay in juvenile detention until their 21st birthday. State's Attorney Kim Fox has taken heat for being soft on juvenile offenders. Yet Fox says her office filed charges in 80% of juvenile cases, but stresses it's not about locking these kids up.
The reason that we have to take this approach, particularly with young people, is we don't want them hardened to a system that they go and become better criminals when we just do the punishment without figuring out all the stuff that's happening around them.
I think what the community really wants to see is an aggressive, robust response to this issue now.
And I would agree with that. And I think one of the things I'm going to go back to, we can only prosecute once an arrest has been made.
Now, Fox says when police arrest someone riding in a stolen vehicle, officers have to be able to link that person to the actual carjacking. Otherwise, it's just they're charging only with the possession of a stolen vehicle, and that is not a felony, and that's when a juvenile is eligible for probation. Live in the Street Side studio tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News. Brad?
Jermont, thank you.
Developing now, a Chicago teacher strike is on hold for now. CPS has called for a 2-day cooling off period in the hopes of getting the Chicago Teachers Union back to the negotiating table. In a joint statement, Mayor Lori Lightfoot and CPS said, "We are calling for a 48-hour cooling off period. For now, teachers will retain access to their Google Suite. Students will remain virtual Tuesday and Wednesday." CTU releasing a statement saying, "We don't want a lockout. We want to keep working remotely as we bargain an agreement to return to our classrooms safely." The two sides continue to try to work out 3 key sticking points surrounding vaccination plans for those returning to work, a metric system for those for further closures, and remote accommodations for those staying remote.
Well, low temperatures tonight will range from about 16 degrees in Aurora to 28 in Valparaiso. I'm thinking in northwest Indiana we could see a few flurries toward morning, mainly lake effect, and that would be light. But we are in store for a quiet pattern here for the next 2 days. Tomorrow we should push highs near 30 to 35 degrees with partly sunny skies. It'll be a dry and quiet day with a drier wind flow out of the north and northwest. So tomorrow is dry, Wednesday is dry. Thursday, here's the problem. Look how we cloud up Wednesday night. Thursday morning's rush. We could have everything from freezing rain to snow, changing to all rain. And this system is going to open the door for the coldest air mass of the season, an Arctic blast. Brad and Irika coming our way this weekend. I'll show you.
Okay, thanks, MK. New details tonight on an elderly couple found dead inside this burning home in the northwest burbs. Investigators in Inverness now say 82-year-old Marlene Piracci died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Her body was found in a parked car in the garage. Her 84-year-old husband, Mario, was found inside the home and apparently died from the fire. The cause still under investigation. New at 10, she moved to North Carolina, thought Chicago was part of her past until parking tickets, a whole bunch of them, started showing up. CBS 2's Charlie DeMar is sorting it all out tonight.
Jennifer Owen left Chicago. She sold her car, but the parking tickets, they kept coming, more than a dozen of them. Signs telling you when it's legal to park, tow zones, days of the week when parking is illegal. It can get confusing, and in Doug Owen's case, frustrating.
Now they want $500 for these tickets.
Doug's daughter, Jennifer, racked up 13 tickets from the city of Chicago.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. She shouldn't even be getting tickets.
Doug says the Pontiac Aztek shouldn't have been ticketed because Jennifer sold the car in December 2019. It was notarized, and Jennifer wasn't even living in Chicago. She moved back home to North Carolina.
With the whole pandemic going on, I can't afford much right now because I'm not working.
After she sold the car, Jennifer left the North Carolina plates on, so every time the new owner got ticketed, the bill was sent to the Owens, not the person actually responsible. They reported the car lost or stolen, but the parking violations from Chicago didn't stop.
We want to figure out how Chicago can legally require somebody to pay a ticket on a car and a tag that's been turned in as lost or stolen.
The Owens were able to get 8 of the 13 tickets dismissed. Doug says he couldn't get through to Chicago's finance department. He still owed $500 for the remaining 5 tickets.
I made the decision to send a $250 check and said, please just accept this for the 5 tickets and let's be done with this because I want it over.
You just wanted it to go away?
I just wanted to go away, and they sent back to her and said, oh, good, you paid 2.5 of the tickets. You got 2.5 more to go. And that's when I got pissed.
We reached out to the city's finance department. They took a look at the Owens case and have decided to throw out those 5 remaining tickets and refund them that $250 they've already paid. In the Loop, Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News.
Now to the impeachment trial set to start just 1 week from tomorrow. Former President Donald Trump's response to the article of impeachment is due tomorrow, as are the House pre-trial briefs in which lawmakers will lay out their case against Mr. Trump. Part of that plan will involve Twitter and Facebook. CBS News has learned House impeachment managers plan to use social media videos from the January 6th attack on the Capitol during the trial to help demonstrate why they believe the former president should be convicted. Meantime, investigators have recommended prosecutors decline to bring charges against the U.S. Capitol Police officer who shot and killed a pro-Trump rioter during the insurrection.
Now to a flute fiasco. An out-of-town musician is desperately hoping to find the $22,000 instrument he accidentally left on a CTA Blue Line train. He tells CBS 2's Dana Kozlov the flute is irreplaceable, left to him by his grandmother.
It was chaotic. The 23-year-old musician was rushing to get off of the L here in Logan Square. He had his phone. It was at 2%. He needed it to catch his lift. He was juggling a couple of bags, and then he realized he left his $22,000 flute on the train.
So I sprint back down the stairs, and my heart is racing.
This is the flute Donald Rabin is now desperately trying to find. He left it wedged between the CTA Blue Line seat and train wall Friday night. He spent hours riding the blue line searching for it himself ever since, reporting it lost to both the CTA and Chicago police, too.
I'm just really scared that somebody has tried to sell it or whatever. And it means a lot to me.
The Missouri native and current master's degree student at Boston's Berklee Music Conservatory says it's not just the flute's $22,000 value that's left him crushed. It's the sentiment attached to it.
It's a professional flute that when my grandmother died, this was part of the inheritance that I received. And so I like to take that a little bit with me whenever I go play the flute. Sorry.
Rabin says Chicago police are reviewing CTA security camera footage to see if they can pinpoint who walked off with the flute. Rabin never thought it possible he would ever intentionally or not leave it behind.
Everybody makes mistakes, and I feel like this is a great learning opportunity for the other musicians out there.
Rabin flies back to school Tuesday. He's hoping that if someone found his flute, they return it to CTA's Lost and Found or Chicago police. In Logan Square, Dana Kozlov, CBS 2 News.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
For an entire generation of TV fans, he will be forever known as Screech. Saved by the Bell star Dustin Diamond, being mourned in Hollywood tonight.
And if you're thinking of hosting a Super Bowl party, the CDC has a message for you.
Hey everybody, Stephen Colbert. Join me tonight. We'll have the latest on the winter storm hammering the East Coast, plus sports and traffic on the ones. It's a late show.